Hello everyone, it's Luphisra here. Today I'll be playing Suhoshin. We're on day 5. On the other timeline of day 5. So in the different timeline, Yuna went missing on her own accord. But that timeline is locked for some reason, so I'm doing another one. So hello, Ghostly Ozzy. Welcome to the stream. It's good to see you. Okay, Mr. Kim would like to have a word with you to report to his home. What now? Yes, sir. Well, better not keep him waiting. Message received. You may return to your post. Right away, sir. Either something important to tell me or a question that cannot wait. I headed straight for the Kim residence. Still awake for now, but don't know how much longer. It's okay if you're really sleepy. I don't mind if you go to bed. Is it's late? Good afternoon. Welcome. Please follow me. He's been expecting you. After removing my shoes, I followed the servant through several rooms, but couldn't help but admire the beauty of the place. This must have been the largest house in the village. The floor, the walls, everything was in pristine condition. There were paintings on the walls and porcelain vases holding bouquets of flower adorning the house. Pleasant fragrance filled the air. Even compared to the places I'd seen in the capital, such a beautiful, luxurious home was a rare sight. At the end of the corridor, the servant stopped and opened a door on the right. I went in. Good afternoon, Yuri. Good afternoon, sir. Is everything all right? Lunch was brought in and was being pointed to the cushion at the end of the table. Come, have a seat. May I really? You may. Let us share a meal. I took a seat. I feel like it's Yuna that said something. That's why they're... Yeah. The food looks delicious, though. Okay, timing is not the best, but I've been planning to invite you for lunch. You have? I've decided to postpone my wife's funeral until you find her killer. I see. The two of them began to eat in silence. I did the same. There was suyuk, grilled fish, different kinds of kimchi, and other dishes made from namul. Kimchi obviously is fermented cabbage. Namul, edible vegetables and herbs. I don't think I really had that when I was living in Korea, actually. Suyuk, water meat. Yeah, not something that I had to. Normally consisting of boiled pork belly served with beans and different dipping sauces. And I'm not really a meat person. Guy looks intense. This is Mr. Kim. I imagine it's because he lost his wife, you know, and yeah, he's not feeling that great. Hello, Herma, though. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, everything was delicious. The meat, especially, was tender and juicy. To Mr. Kim and Yuna, this was just an ordinary meal, but to me, this was a rare treat. Even the rice had a special flavor to it, and the sauce tasted different from what I was accustomed to. This looks like sundubu-jjigae. I don't know what that meat is. The atmosphere, however, was heavy, and I didn't feel it comfortable enough to break the silence. Plus, I was too busy trying to figure out why I had been invited. Finally, Yuna spoke up. Yuri. Yes? During your time in Hanya, why did you find yourself missing the most? She forced a smile. I like to say my friends and the people of the village. Expected as much? And who are these friends of yours? Why are you asking such questions? I'm sorry. Because of being spoiled by Google that she could be crazy. I don't know if it's like one of the timelines, because this game has different like timelines, obviously, depending on your choice that you make. But yeah, I feel like her asking these questions is making me suspicious. I'm sorry. You know, I feel like if I reject her or something, she's gonna try and kill me. Oh, there's Yumbuk, who you probably already know, and Sua, my next door neighbor. Have you known each other for a long time? Well, Sua and I were both raised in the orphanage, so we have indeed known each other for a long, long time. As for Yumbuk, he's also a childhood friend of mine. Ah, I see. Were you able to make any friends in the capital? Not really. How should I explain? A bit like the feeling expressed to me this morning. We can go close to the people nearest to us, but that does not make them our dearest friends. When you put it like that, I understand perfectly well. Is that something the two of you discussed this morning? It is, Father. Our conversation took quite a few twists and turns. I see. Would you happen to have a favorite festival, Yuri? Let me think. I like to say Sola. Sola is New Year's. That's my favorite too. How do you normally welcome in the new year? I always enjoyed the tteokguk with the other children of the orphanage. Tteokguk is like rice cakes, I think. Rice cake soup? Yeah, rice cake soup. Like tok is rice cake. Like tok. Yeah. That's why it's like tteokbokki, you know? So like tteokguk, it's like soup. We also play Nori and did all sorts of activities. We spent several days like that eating and playing like one big family. Nori traditional board game. Yeah, I never played that one before. So I have many fond memories of my time there. And I tend to make it a tradition to celebrate the new year at the orphanage so the children can play as I did. You think you'd bring me along one time? To the orphanage? Yes, I also like to see their smiling faces and help out as best as I can. Would that be alright, Father? We shall see. And you, Yuri, what do you think? It lies within the city limits, so if your father agrees, I don't see a problem you accompanying me. How about I discuss the matter once more when the new year approaches? I should be looking forward to it. Yeah, she has a crush. I feel like if we reject her, she's gonna turn nuts. I feel like that's the context of that picture that I saw. It's like she gets rejected because maybe we like somebody else, say Sua, for example. And then she goes crazy. I feel like it's something. I don't trust her, I'm sorry. How about you, milady? How do you normally spend Sola? Sola is my chance to dress in new outfits and receive a special allowance from my father, the red packet. In this context, similar to Chinese New Year, pretty much. Except the food, obviously, and everything else that you do is a bit different. Of course, we also eat tteokguk just like everyone else. King quickly finished his lunch and got to his feet. Do not bother Yuri too much with questions. He has much work to do. I shall try not to, Father. See you soon, Yuri. Hopefully good news to report. Thank you for lunch, sir. He left the room. Yuri, before you leave, I'd like to give you something. Can you spare a moment? I feel as though I've already been generously rewarded today. Lunch was more than enough. Please, there's something I'd like you to have. If you insist. And I called the servant over and whispered something in her ear. The servant looks worried. The servant scurried away and came back carrying a box. Yuna opened the box and pulled out embroidered jumoni. Jumoni? I forgot what that is. What is jumoni again? Ah, okay, that same, like this. Okay. Here, this is for you. I made it myself. Out the porch. Or the pouch. Not the porch. It's beautiful. I see you have a talent for embroidery. You're much too kind. Thank you, my lady. I will treasure it. You're welcome. It's merely a small way to thank you for listening this morning. Plus, if something were to happen, you now have something to remember me by. Why would she say such a thing? Yuri, I'm so afraid. She suddenly collapsed onto her couch and started brawling. I moved over to her, put a hand on her shoulder. Melody, you're safe here. I promise to find this killer and put an end to this string of murders. You must trust me. I just keep thinking I'll never see Mother again. I miss her so. Happy energy had built over Lunch's mother under her tears. I know she looks so kind and all, and Yunsu is the one that's like mean, but I'm like, for some reason, I trust Yunsu more. I don't it's just so weird. It's hard to trust anybody in this game, I swear. After a few moments, she stopped crying and dried her tears. Forgive me, Yuri. I want to be strong, but I cannot keep myself composed. No need to apologize, you just need to get some rest. I must be going, but I'll return to see how you're holding up. In the meantime, you should remain indoors. I will. I give her a smiling pat on the shoulder and headed for the door. I hope that the timeline I'm in, though, she doesn't go nuts, though. I hope that that's some other timeline, and I'm not spoiled on that. It could be a locked timeline or something. That's what I hope. Poor girl, so fragile. I've yet to hear of any further incidents. I fear that this murder will strike again once the sun has set. Yeah, just a friendly pat on the shoulder. Friends. Okay, just friends. There's one more thing I must do before I leave. I'll look for the guard I met on my way in. Ah, there you are. I've been looking for you. What can I do for you, sir? Can you gather all the servants who live inside these walls? Right now, sir? Yeah, summon them here at once. Tell them it's urgent. I'll be waiting right here. Right away, sir. He immediately took off. I don't know what he's planning to do, so yeah. I waited for quite some time. Slowly, the servants gathered, all looking very confused. Is this everyone? I didn't know how many servants there are or what they looked like, but from looks of things, it seemed like this was everyone. Let me begin. Thank you for dropping what you were doing to come. I promise I won't be long. I'd like to know if any of you had disposed of any bloodstained clothing over the past few days. If anyone were to notice something suspicious, it will be one of you. They all start shaking their heads and peering around at each other. Maybe you have noticed an unusual amount of clothing disappearing? I've noticed nothing of the sort, sir. No one came forward. Very well. Over the past few days, have you noticed any of the young buds waking up later than usual or acting lethargic? Again, they looked around, mumbling they had not. Fair enough. Listen carefully to what I'm about to say. There's a killer hiding in our midst. If we do not catch him, what happened yesterday will happen once more. I cannot guarantee your safety, so you must cooperate if you wish to catch this criminal. If you notice anything suspicious over the next few days, come find me at once. If any of you are afraid to speak publicly, come to me in private. I live just past the southern gate. I realize I'm asking you to report your masters, but I promise that you will not be held accountable for your actions. Your identities will remain a secret. You have my word and that of Mr. Kim. Many of them began to shuffle around nervously, but no one spoke out. That'll be all. Thank you for your time. You may go. I feel like none of them will speak out, though. I feel like they'll still keep secret. They all departed from their respective houses. I was once again alone. Assuming none of the servants is covering for anyone, the young buds may be innocent. I may have to go out on patrol tonight. I should head home and weigh my options. There's another choice, man. I might die. I set off towards the orphanage to pick up Suha, and then we rode home together. What were you up to today? I had a wonderful day playing games and singing with the children. This situation's wearing on them, though. They wish to go out into the village. Yuri, is there a problem? You're quieter than usual. Just thinking, sorry. Heard you. Yuri, I've known you too long not to know when there's something wrong. I just feel like I'm not making any progress and time is not on my side. Okay, give me a moment. I need to grab some Los Angeles. Hold on. The model I might act weird. Yeah, see? It always does that. Crazy. Okay. So I started slicing up some vegetables and I took a seat on the floor, so just dinner. Okay, talked to Mina for the greater part of the morning. And then Mr. Kim invited me to his home for lunch. He invited you into his home? He did. What did he serve you? Suyuk, grilled fish, kimchi, namul. Sounds like quite the spread. He must really like you. I do believe so. And yet I keep disappointing him. Nonsense! Everyone can see that you're doing your very best. You know, I always dreamed of doing this sort of thing. In the capital, I found it so exciting. But this is different. This is our village. These are our friends. I'm starting to realize that I may not be ready to handle this sort of case. Yuri, you can't give up now. You're the only person we can count on. True. Questioned the servants at Yangban district, but none of them saw anything suspicious. I think my only option is finding this mysterious woman. An excellent idea. I almost forgot. Yuna wants to meet the children of the orphanage next Salah. She said that? She did. She wants to help. It's amazing. I'm sure they'll be delighted to meet her. We should start planning a way to accommodate her. Yuri is the only police. Yes. Mr. Lee is technically official, but he doesn't do any work. Yoonbuk is a guard, but he's like missing, and the other guards are just not really investigating anything, I think. So yeah, he is the only police. He's like one man show, which is good and bad. I mean, like, if anything happens to him, there's no police anymore in this village. So waited for Suha to finish preparing dinner. I began thinking through the strategy I'll employ tonight. One thing was certain: I had to go out there. I couldn't tell Suha though, because I don't want to frighten her. After we ate dinner, cleaned up, it was already time for bed. Mr. Lee does nothing there. He just yells. Yeah, that's true. He just yells order. He doesn't really do anything. He just get angry and want to accuse innocent people of crime. Yuri, I'm probably going to be gone by the time you wake up. I have to go tend to my crops. That won't be a problem, will it? Your farm is right in front of my house, so it should be fine. Just be wary. Don't stray too far. I'll keep an eye out. Good night, Yuri. Sweet dreams. But every other night, I went into the next room and spread my bedding out on the floor. Considering killer's pattern, there was probably going to be another murder during the night, but where? I've been asking myself that very question all evening. Would it be in the Yangban district again? It was risky, but not out of the question. I also figured out a sort of pattern for these three murders. The first happening in the north, second in the south, the last right in the heart of the village. Following that logic, there was bound to be a murder soon to the west and to the east. Sat there for a long time without moving. Before I left, I had to make sure Suha was asleep. Suha, are you awake? No answer. Then it's time to head out. I got up, opened the door as quietly as possible. I stepped out into the night and carefully shut and locked the door behind me. It was a clear night and the moon was lighting my way forward. It was time to choose which way should I go. Ah, freaking hell. Okay, what do we do? Do we investigate the Yangban district or do you patrol the village? What do you guys think? Pick a choice, people. Pick a choice. Honestly, though, how did the killer kill Mrs. Kim is my question. Like, I'm very curious about the Yangban district, but I'm afraid of getting it wrong because he did say that the killings might be in the west and the east. So I'm not sure. Guys, help me out here. Kind of worried. I really don't know what to pick. Should I investigate Yangban or patrol the village? Investigate? Yeah, maybe you could do that, actually. Maybe you could do that. Hello, Cheese. Good to see you. Maybe you can investigate first. I mean, if I do die, I will switch back and take another option. Okay. Though it's rare for criminals to commit two murders in the same place, this killer is special. This fiend does not follow normal conventions and not afraid of attacking Yamban families. I have a feeling that he will strike there once more tonight, and I'll be ready for him so we might avoid another tragedy. I start walking towards the southern gate. A few days ago, when I told Suna that I intended to patrol the village at night, she expressed a concern. I'm however going to sneak through the village tonight and try to catch this killer. Won't that be dangerous? Shouldn't you focus on your investigation instead? It was risky, but I had to do what I could to stop the killer from claiming any more victims. Ina's sad demeanor also had gotten to me. I was determined not to let anything happen to her. That being said, I need to remember that this person was dangerous and should not be confronted directly. My mind was made up. Before long, I arrived at the first row of houses. It is a little chilly, but not unbearable. As expected, there is not a noise to be heard within the walls of the village. This is so strange. It feels like the whole village has been deserted. As I walk down, I realize there's not a single light burning inside any of the houses. I gather that everyone is asleep, or at least pretending to be. I'm not surprised. No one's want to do anything that might draw attention their way, like lighting a lamp or making any sort of loud noise. I crept on before reaching the marketplace. In the daytime, this place was so full of life, each shopkeeper tending to his or her wares. I still remember the day Suha came to sell her own crops in the market the first time. I needed to help her lug her goods all this way. When we were kids, Suha lived tending to the flowers and plants around the orphanage. As we grew up, she started taking her gardening seriously, and we all enjoyed eating the dishes made from her vegetables. So her decision to become a farmer was a natural one. But since she worked alone, she only had a small plot of land. It was enough for her to live off though, and above all else she enjoyed her work. Since I was still unsure of my own future back then, I picked out a place next to hers and occasionally gave her a hand. I can still remember renting out those 2 houses. It was Mr. Lee who helped us find a suitable place. Mr. Lee was nice for once? Damn! What changed? What made him such a horrible, angry person now? And this food comes with the house, so I can use it to grow my crops? That is correct. The land is included in the rent. It may be a short walk from the village proper, but it looks like it will suit your needs. Considering how small your budget is, there are no other suitable properties. Right. What do you think, Yuri? Looks good to me? Very well then, I shall have someone draw up the papers. Yuri, are you sure we'll be okay? Houses were old and haven't been maintained very well, but we took our time cleaning and fixing everything up. The selling part of Sua's business wasn't easy either. Thanks to Yunbok's help snatching up a good location and a considerable amount of luck and hard work, Sua's crops sold well. Ah, this place holds so many memories. Yangban District lies just east of the marketplace. Time to focus on the matter at hand. Very quiet. As I approached, I saw that the gate was still closed and the guard was posted out front. He was holding a book in his hand. I went up to him slowly and spoke in a quiet voice. Anyone from outside the walls entered the district? No, sir. I'm going to have to look around the district. Understood, sir. I passed through the gate, careful to make as little sound as possible. It was time to decide where I should go look first. Garden's only spot set off from the rest of the district. If I were the killer and I wanted to get in, that would be my point of entry. There's no one surveilling the area, and apart from the wall, there's nothing else barring his entry. Since the murder of Mrs. Kim, the guards were probably watching that area more closely during the day, but at this hour, I doubt anyone will be there. Might as well have a look. Oh, that music. The entrance to the garden was right around the corner. As I got closer, I thought about yesterday's events. I still don't know her name. Stop, don't move! And then she ran away. I'm the only one who has seen her though. Is it possible I'm just seeing things? I arrived at the scene of the crime. The body has been removed, but despite it being night, I could still make out traces of blood. I couldn't help but shudder. If somebody were hiding in here, it would be very hard to see them. I started combing through the trees and bushes. No one. Feeling confident the killer wasn't lying in wait, I made my way around the pond and back to the entrance. The killer was inside the walls, he wasn't hiding here. I should bar the gate. That would prevent anyone from using this area as their point of entry. I closed the heavy gate as quietly as I could and slipped the bar into place, preventing anyone from getting in or out. Nothing suspicious here. The music's making me... Oh my god. We're too late? Don't say that, Herma. Don't say that. It's so quiet. Everyone must be sleeping. I should check each house and make sure nothing has happened. I expect to cross paths with at least one guard, but that wasn't the case. It's not normal protocol to have only a single guard standing watch at the gate. If something were to happen, by the time the guard heard something and made his way over, it would be too late. I'll need to have a talk with Mr. Kim tomorrow. There should be at least one person patrolling this sector. It's good that I came when I did. I approached the first few houses and had a look around. No lights, no sounds. I decided to wait around just in case. I have the worst luck. I'm trying all sorts of things, but I have nothing to show for it. Either that or the killer's staying right out of reach. There's no way for him to know what I'm going to do next. I'm starting to get cold just waiting here. So I moved on to the other houses, eventually reaching Mr. Kim's. Things were quiet here, just as they were everywhere else. Poor Yuna and poor Mr. Kim. The house was larger than the others, but it was just as dark as the rest. They must be asleep too. At least I hope that's the case. I checked out all the other houses until I got to the last one at the far end of the district. It was where Mr. Lee lived with his daughter. He already loathes me. If he gets me snooping about, I'm a dead man. It's not likely at this hour, though. As before, I walked around the house, seeing what I could from outside the courtyard. Huh? It was difficult to get a good look at what's happening since the estate was quite large. I have to scale the small wall if I want to get any closer, but even from here, there's one thing for certain. Looks like someone has a candle lit, though it's rather dim. Is that someone's room? Not completely unjustified, Mr. Lee must have trouble sleeping. I should go before he sees me. I hope that's not something happening in that room and we just missed it. After a thorough search of the Yongbon district and a quick peek inside the town hall, I made my way back to the gate. I looked everywhere, but there's nothing the least bit suspicious. It's getting late. I don't think anything's going to happen here tonight. The guard was still standing watch. Nothing to report. I'm going to head back home. Are you holding up all right? I am, sir. I think you should be patrolling inside the walls instead of just standing here guarding the entrance. Just close the gate for the night. Then no one will be able to get in. The Sato was clear that I should stand watch at the gate. Very well. I can't have you violating orders, so do as you've been told. I gave you a bow and made my way south. No one's ready for this sort of incident. They're poorly organized. But I would look rather arrogant if I was to start ordering people around. I'm the youngest one here, and I've done very little to prove my competence. Then I have no choice in the matter. I must let them continue on as they are. I felt the exhaustion creeping in as I made my way back home. So I'll be up shortly, but at least I can rest knowing that the Yongbons are safe and sound. Let's hope I can say the same about the people of the village. After a short walk, I was finally back home. I snuck back inside. I don't think I woke Suho. After removing my gat, I lay down on the floor and wrapped my blanket around me. My head was swimming. It must have been almost a week since the killings had begun, and I made very little headway. Yoongbuk was gone, and our tree was dead. It's Han, Suni, and Mrs. Kim. The way things stood, it didn't look like I was ever up to the task, but I'm so afraid of failing and letting everyone down. I slowly drifted off to sleep. Please don't let something happen at Mr. Lee's place. And I just happened to be there and not notice anything. Ah, I slept like a rock. I really did. I almost left half the morning. I didn't even hear Suha get up. Well, no time to waste. I gotta see Miss Kim. So I mentioned that she needed to get up early to tend to her crops. I opened the door and went out to find her. She's not in the field in front of her house. What? Oh, don't tell me she went missing. No answer. I tried calling louder. Suha, are you here? Again, no answer. That's odd. Is she still in my room? I went inside, not lightly on the door to my room. So, are you still sleeping there? No response. So, I'm going to open the door. Starting to imagine the worst might happen, and my heart started pounding faster and faster. Something was clearly not right. I couldn't wait for a response any longer. I opened the door. Please tell me she's in there. Asleep. Fuck! Oh, fuck. No, oh my god, no. Oh, dear. So I was lying on the floor, blood spattered across the room. How the fuck did they know I was leaving? A lot of grief swept over me. Suha, our best friend, she's dead. Collapsed to fall. Tears were streaming down my cheeks. I took one of her tender hands and I gave it a squeeze. Can I do it again? Can I go back to the other? Can I patrol the village instead of investigating? Why her? Why? Why? I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. You know what? You know what? Hold on. I'll save here and then I would. No. This one's the no. This is the locked one. Okay, you know what? I'll save over this one. I'll reload. Come on. Let me pick the other one. Okay, let me patrol the village instead. Let's see if I can come back and she's not dead. Let's see. Therefore, criminals commit 2 murders in the same place. If the killer follows the convention, the Yamban families have nothing to fear tonight. That leaves the areas of the village where nothing has happened yet. I should patrol to the east and west. Time to go. Start walking towards the southern gate. A few days ago when I told her, okay, she expressed a concern. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna skip that. She was right, but at this point I didn't have any other options. So I was determined not to come face to face with the killer if I were to happen upon him. It would be much smarter to tail the killer, find out his identity, and confront him the next day with reinforcements. It didn't take long to reach the southern gate and the first houses there. It's a little chilly, but not unbearable. I suspected there's not a noise to be heard. Okay, so yeah, it's the same. This same thing. Stopped and had a look around. There were no lamps lit. Okay. It should make it easier to locate the killer. Okay. Heard a noise from behind. It sounded like item falling against hard surface. Kind of close. I whipped around. I froze in place for a few seconds. Despite the street being lit up by the moonlight, I couldn't see anything that might have made that noise. My heart was pounding out of control. Was that the killer or just some stray animal? Even though I might be putting myself in danger, I had to check. Slowly and cautiously, I made my way to the spot where I thought the noise had come from. Further down, I could see a path that ran perpendicular to this one, between a low wall and a house. The noise must have come from over there. Was someone hiding back there? Figure shut out from behind the wall and took up ere I could react. Halt! Person sprinted away even faster. Damn it, I can't let him get away. Okay, so you need to pick the village one so that we can chase after the person and so they don't kill Suha. So we made the mistake of investigating Yamban village, the district. Okay, the person was wearing a large black cloak. Even in broad daylight, probably couldn't have made out his face. Chase after him. He's running to the south, away from the village. He's so fast and know I'll be able to catch him at this rate. The figure weaved his way through the village, knowing precisely which way he was going. He was heading straight to the southern gate. He's heading to my house, isn't it? We passed through the gate and reached the last two houses within the limits of the village, Sua's and mine. I knew the road continued past them, but out there was a large plain, a few trees, and nowhere to hide. Even though I was running as fast as I could, I was gradually falling behind. No way I'm gonna miss this chance. Damn, how on earth we could run that fast? I stopped in the middle of the flat expanse, grasping for breath. I lost my target and could hear nothing over the sound of my labored breathing. Idiot, I missed my only chance. I knew that running was not my forte, but that person's speed was something else. It took a good minute for me to catch my breath. I scanned the last place I could remember seeing the killer. I'm outmatched physically, but I can still use my brain. Either he continued to the south, he's long gone, or he's hiding behind a tree or a bush. I don't believe the first to be true, so my only option is to comb the area and hope I stumble upon his hiding place. I will have to be thorough in my search. Please don't let him run into our house. One thing to note is that he ran away instead of attacking. That means he's afraid. I'll say this first. If this killer ends up being Yunbuk, like, the game just makes it so that it's the most obvious, like, choice, and just we didn't believe it. If it's Yunbuk and he killed Sua and the other one, I'm gonna slap his face. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just sick that he killed the person that you grew up with, okay? So hopefully, I'm just hoping it's not Yunbuk. Okay, please. Okay, the plain stretching out in front of me was immense, but there are only a few trees that the killer could have reached. I set off determined to methodically inspect the area. Come to think of it, the hooded figure acted much the same way the woman did the other day. He tends to act very suspicious and flee the scene. Maybe our killer isn't a man. Hours went by, and yet I barely searched half the plain. I feel like I've been searching forever, but still nothing. Am I just wasting my time? Is that woman again? Has she upped and vanished like before? Doesn't matter, I can't give up, I must push on. I inspect the remaining trees, making my way further and further from the village. I wandered this way and that, searching for the place for the better part of the night. I lost all sense of time. As the exertion got too much, I flopped down on the grassy field. How disappointing. I must face the facts. I'm not cut up for this job. Hurts to admit, but Mr. Lee was right to doubt me. He certainly takes the abuse a bit far, but it's absurd to think that someone as young as me could handle a case this big. Tomorrow morning, I'll go advise Mr. Kim to send for help from Dongnae. I peered east and saw the first light of sun peeking over the horizon. Dear me, I really did search all night long. The sun is coming up. I won't even have time to sleep. Of course, there are more pressing issues than that. I should get home and get what rest I can before going to see Mr. Kim. Besides, Suao should be awake by now. Suao, she's gonna wonder where I've gone. It was dumb of me. I didn't even think about the time. I better get me getting back. Got to my feet and start walking north. It wasn't hard to find my way back to the village. After all, I'd done nothing but pace back and forth across the plain the whole night. By the time I got home, it was morning. I got home, glanced around her field. Sua isn't out here. She must be still getting ready. The door to my house was wide open. Well, maybe she is out here. So I'm back. Hope I didn't worry you. She's dead, isn't she? She's dead either way. No answer. So are you out here? Something's wrong. Panic seized me. I ran inside. My heart felt it was beating out of my chest. Yeah, she's dead. Either way, she's dead. Actually, you know what? I can see why people say that the main character is pretty incompetent at this point. Because honestly though, if it was me, I know there's a killer on the loose, right? I know that he's running to the southern gate. And that there are only 2 houses there at the southern gate. So it's our house. Yuri, being the stupid ass that he is, spends hours just combing an empty field that he knows that there's only little trees and nowhere to hide. rather than go home and immediately to check, hey, is Suha okay? Because he knows she's alone at home. Yet she doesn't go and go and look when she knows there's only 2 houses there. He didn't think that he would go hide in the house knowing that there's only 2 houses there. Yeah, they need more people to patrol the village. They don't have anyone that is taking things seriously. You know? So she dies no matter what choice I take. Anything but that. So I was lying in a pile of bloodstained sheets. As Okan with grief and clubs to the floor beside her. I took one of her slender hands and gave it a squeeze. It was cold. Sandra's anger mixed with the fatigue I already feeling, and tears began to flow. Why did it have to be her? Because you're dumb and didn't check on your home the moment. You're stupid. See, this is what people were saying, that he's incompetent. You know, like, it's obvious to go check the house first. Make sure that the people is safe. You know there are only 2 houses in that direction, and yet you don't go investigate? You spent hours combing an empty field for what? For nothing. Every decision I made was wrong. I was stupid. I should have been here for you. You're always so kind to me. I don't deserve to call myself your friend. Decisions made over the course of a single night had led me to losing the person most precious to me. I was overwhelmed by remorse and couldn't stop crying. The killer was more clever than I could ever imagine. Because you're dumb! All part of his plan so I might follow him out of the village. Then, while I was out searching for him, he was here doing this to Sue. Obviously, you knew that he was running in this direction. You know that there are only 2 houses in this direction. And as someone who went to the capital, Hanyang, to actually study this, and you even follow people solving cases, what, you don't go and make sure that people are okay first? You go do stupid things outside? That's what I felt the blade sink in from behind. Immense pain shot through my body and fell forward. I feel the blade pierce my body and my heart began to slow. I struggled to turn to see my target, but I had no strength to move. Before losing courage, I heard my attacker snicker. That voice, I heard it somewhere before, but my brain couldn't pull up a name. In the very last months, I realized how perfectly the killer set the trap. From the onset of my investigation, he always been one step ahead. The cause of all those mistakes was my life. So either one of this makes him die. So this one, he dies. I'm not going to save this progress, no. Okay, I already did the other one, though. Wait, not this one, not this one. My fault. I shouldn't have gone out. I should have stayed here and looked after you. I'm not worthy of wearing this gat. You've always been there for me. Over the course of a single night, I lost my best friend, the closest I had to a family. When deciding to go to Yangban District last night, I was so choosing to leave so alone. The killer must have noticed. He must have slipped in while I was gone and claimed her as the next victim. Once again, I'm been duped. Mr. Lee was right to doubt me. I just wasn't cut out for this. Mr. Lee was cold, but his judgment was sound. It was foolish to put this investigation in the hands of a boy. I heard noise behind me and whipped around. Her girl. You killed her. Turned around and ran. I immediately set off in pursuit. Stop, you murderer! As I suspected, she was fast on her feet. When she got out the door, she turned south. It was a mistake on her part. There was no place to hide in the plains and to the south. And since she had chosen to approach in broad daylight, it was impossible for me to lose sight of her. You're going to pay for this. There's no more doubt. Here's our murderer, and this time I was not going to let her escape. She was be brought to justice for the murder of Sue and her other 3 victims. By rage, I ran as fast as my feet could carry me in pursuit of her. I was gaining ground when she ducked behind a tree. It's the end for you. You should know where to go. I stopped running and slowly approached the tree she was hiding behind. I'm surprised there was no one behind the tree. It can't be. I'm sure she died behind this one. Put my head in my hands. Am I dreaming? There are too many thoughts racing through my head. So this mysterious woman, Mr. Kim, I don't know what to do anymore. I never felt this way before. I couldn't focus on one thing long enough to straighten out my thoughts. Only one thing's for certain. I must attend to Sua's remains. That's what she would have done if it were me lying there. I must look after her body. Well then. Huh? Looked up and let a gasp. The mysterious woman was standing right there in front of me. Alright, I'm gonna head off. Good night and have a good sleep. Good night, Ghosty Ozzy. Have a good sleep. Hopefully we didn't end off on a wrong, bad note for you, yes. Someone needs to look this up for me. Google this and tell me, if all the route, is it Sua dies no matter what? Because if that's the case, I'm just going to play this once and that's it. I'm not going to care about any hidden scenes and what. Can someone tell me, does she have a timeline that she survives? Is that the locked timeline? Because we have a timeline where it's locked. So I'm thinking in my head, this is a love line where we could unlock the love relationship with Sua. I'm gonna assume that she lives in this timeline because Yuna is the one that disappears in this one. So someone look it up for me and tell me Sua doesn't die in every timeline, please. Didn't say a word, just stood there. I'm hallucinating again. Calm yourself. You know my name? Calm, please. I did not kill her. She spoke calmly, but I could hear the sadness in her voice. Locked eyes for a moment. If you're not the killer, who are you? Your emotions look genuine. I tried my best to compose myself. I know that losing your friend must fill you with grief, but you mustn't allow yourself to give up. I have this theory about this woman. If she's not a suspicious person, she's either a spirit. I'm assuming she's a spirit. She's either a mythical character, a mythical creature taking human form, but she's good. She's benevolent. Or I have this weird theory in my head that it's the mother of the guy. It's the mother of Yuri. For some reason. I don't know. Because he's an orphan, right? He's an orphan. So I don't know. I don't know. One of my theories that he's the mom. She died young, so that she looks young. That's my thought. I might be wrong though. If I were the murderer, I would kill you already. You know the killer's methods. I did, but I still have questions for her. You said you're from the village. I did, but no one knows who you are. They do not. I have to believe, but someone knew my name, the names of other people in the village. Told me you arrived in Yeongdo a few months ago. Is that true? I've always been here. What? Is that the case? Tell me where I grew up. You were raised at the orphanage with Sua and Sunny. I hadn't expected such accurate response. How about now, Yuri? Do you trust me? Even if I was starting to believe she was innocent, I had to find out more. 6 days ago, the day we first met, was all of that real? It was. I mean, it sure felt like a dream. There's no reason for you to be there, and nothing about your story held water. The next day, my clothes were all packed neatly away in my bag. Regarding how you got that far into the woods and why, I don't believe your story about the horse ride for 1 second. I'm assuming she's the ghost. As she said, she's always been here, but no one in the village knows her, so she is not obviously someone who moved in a few months ago. I'm assuming she's someone who's already passed away. Because she's either a guardian spirit of the village, which she's not doing a very good job if she is a guardian spirit because everyone's dying, right? So my next theory is that she is the ghost of someone important to Yuri. And it's his mom, maybe. Someone in his family. Someone who's technically supposed to be dead, but somehow the spirit hasn't moved on yet. And somehow Yuri has the powers to see her when no one else can. And that's why when you ask people now, do you know this lady? They don't know because she's from way back. She might have died a long time ago. Because remember, we came across that shack in the hut in one of the other timelines where we died. it could be that it's her body that's there. So she died so many years ago. Obviously, no one would remember her as someone who's in the village right now, since she's supposed to be dead. That's my theory. I had to meet you. Meet me. If that's true, why vanish like that? There are urgent matters that needed my attention. The day before yesterday, what were you doing in the Yaman garden? I was drawn by Yuna's screams. Why do you run when I saw you? If I were Mrs. Kim Killer, why not run away immediately? Why stay? No killer would have remained. She was right. There was no reason for us to stay long. What business do you have in a village this small? I have a mission that needs fulfilling. A mission here? You might say that I protect this village. Protect it from what? From evil spirits and evil life forms. Yeah, see, she's a guardian spirit. We're doing a terrible job, mind you. Whatever you're doing doesn't seem like to be working. If something were to happen to me, it would spell the end of the village. One thing was certain, our short talk helped calm me down. She was serious enough that when she spoke, but her explanations didn't seem very plausible. Honestly, though, I was finding the whole situation hard to believe. Why didn't you just stay away after escaping? Why did you come back? I need you to catch the killer. You're focusing your suspicions in my direction. It was leading you astray. I knew that if I did not explain, you would have continued down the wrong path. I need you to put your faith in what I've said and find a real killer. If you want me to do that, you must tell me who you are. Are you human? A ghost? Are you the spirit of someone who has already died? No. Wait, you're not someone who's dead yet? So you're just what? Guardian spirit? So she's like the painted lady. If you guys ever watch Avatar The Last Airbender, the painted lady, she's supposed to be the guardian of that lake and that village that's there. But because of pollution, she was like driven away. So she didn't end up being able to protect the village. So the member of the gang, Katara, they pretended to be a spirit to drive the Fire Nation away. You guys remember that episode? Painted lady? So she's like the painted lady. Somehow. She's supposed to be a guardian, but she's failing, obviously. Are you a Suhoshin? Oh, that's what. Or see, she is a Suhoshin, a guardian. In Chinese, it's Suhoshin. Guardian spirit, guardian god, something like that. I had no idea how to react to this news. To me, Suhoshins were stuff of legend. They were tales told to children and didn't really exist. Closed my eyes for a moment and thought that true. This woman was the protector spirit of the village. That's the name of the game, obviously. When I opened my eyes again, she was gone. Huh? Wait! I spun in full circle. She was really gone this time. Suhoshin. Word rang out in my head. You might say that I protect this village. Why am I the only one who can see her? Could this all just be in my head? Suddenly I remembered. I'd like to offer you this norige as a token of my gratitude. Ah, now you remember, Jesus. The norige. If all this is real, I should still have it with me. Why didn't I think about that? Because you're dumb. Search my pouch. Your norige is still there. So it wasn't a dream. I'm not crazy. For anything else, I must go see Su'a. Turn around and walk back to my house. There she was, still lying on top of black silk sheets. Once again, I couldn't hold back tears. Damn it all. Life just wouldn't be the same without you. You were so cheerful, smiling as bright as you could for all to see. When I was down, you had this ability to make me forget everything that was weighing on my mind. I will miss you so much. We just couldn't give in to the grief. Okay, my theory here now. Su'a dying, being the fourth victim. Now I'm thinking, definitely Yuna is behind the killings. Okay, she's my number one priority suspect. If the mysterious lady is like a Suhoshin, Okay, so she's good, obviously, but I still think it's Yuna. Because we just had a conversation with her. We just told her, hey, Yuna's our best friend. We grew up together. We care for her a lot, and then she died. It's very weird. It's definitely someone who, you know, I feel like Yuna is just crazy, man. I feel like I don't trust Yuna. Or Mr. Lee. Because he did say that the laugh sounds very familiar, but he couldn't actually name a person. I imagine it's not Yoonbuk, because if it's Yoonbuk, I'm sure he would recognize the laughter when he died in the other timeline. So I'm thinking it's definitely someone who he knows, but he's not too familiar with. So that's why he can't pinpoint the name of the laughter. So I'm guessing Yuna, because they just met. I'm going to find this killer and make him pay for his crimes. I swear it. Brimming with this newfound result, I approached the body with a closer look. She stretched out on her back, and her bedding is still under her. It doesn't look like she had a chance to struggle. She must have been attacked in her sleep. Can't be sure, though. As for the wounds, chest was sliced open just like all the other women. What a monster. Despite the question, though, why is the killer methodically targeting this area of the body? He really digs deep, and there's blood everywhere. I started to feel nauseous. I couldn't see Suha like this any longer. The only thing the victims have in common is the gaping wound to the chest. There are many ways to kill a person, but why always like this? Wherever it is, they know how to use a knife. Right now, I need to take care of Suha's body. I'll go out and bury her myself. It's too bad autopsy wasn't a thing. Officer Yuri, I recognize the voice as one of the village guards. Lost track of time, must be getting late. I sighed and got to my feet, walked over to the door. Ah, here you are. Is everything alright? In fact, that was far from alright. It was written all over my face. I shook my head. What's the matter? My friend Suha was killed during the night. What? He went into my house and quickly returned. What's she doing at your place? I didn't want her to be left alone, so I let her stay here. Unfortunately, that was not enough to stop this killer. I'm so sorry. I really don't think you should be staying here by yourself. You may not agree, but I'm going to stay here with her alone. Yes, you wish, sir. I'll go tell the Sato what has happened. Turned around and hurried off. Went back inside and knelt next to Suha's body. I hated myself for going out in the middle of the night and leaving her like that. If I only stayed, Suha would be alive. I knew the killer was smart. How could I have not anticipated this? My neglect had cost my best friend her life. I now need the pain brought on by the death of a loved one. I must have stayed like that for quite some time. A noise outside pulled me from my thoughts. What's going on out there? To my surprise, there was a small envoy approaching. They were carrying gunmen with them. Guards were leading the way, and a small group of people carrying the gunmen followed behind. Together, they were escorting young women this way. These servants brought up the rear. Why come all this way? The procession stopped, and the people carrying the gunmen gently set it down in front of my house. It was rather shocking to see, but I have an inkling who it might be. One of the guards opened the door to get my Yuna climbed out. See? She's suspicious. Why is she showing up now? My lady. She walked toward me looking very concerned. Yuna heard what happened. Shouldn't be here. I want to pay my respects. I got permission to come see you. I glanced ridiculously at the two guards who escorted her, but they quickly realized that I'd only been following orders. Did your father really permit you to come? He did. She looked down. I could tell she was lying. Molly, I appreciate you coming all this way, but this could cause quite a bit of trouble for me. She's definitely the killer. I feel like the first time you play, maybe the game's trying to force you to follow the actual, like, supposed canon storyline. So I'm thinking it should be her. She's definitely one of the killers if there's more than one. I can't think of any other reason why the mother, like Mrs. Kim, and Yuna and Suha would die. Because why pick those two? You know? So I thought she's very sus. She's very sus. You know, the mother died and she's the only one there. She's the only one close enough to be able to do it. And then obviously Sua dies and we just talked to her about it. You're sus, lady. You're very sus. But you know, I'm gonna save first. I'm gonna do another save. Okay, I'm gonna save over this one. You know what? Just go save over this one. Just why not? I need to take a break here first quickly to go to the bathroom, rest my voice for a couple minutes, and then we'll come back and play more. Okay? So for those of you watching on YouTube, thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. So then take care.